Hey everyone, Christian here from the Calcio Bros, and International Week is finished. Congratulations to the Azzurri for qualifying for Euro 2020. Mancini, I believe, has now gone 9 or 10 games on a winning streak, tying a former coach's record. They've won every game so far with 2 games. Well, they won it with 3 games to spare, and then they won the second game on the international break. So now they have 2 games left. They're definitely topping the group, and it's great to see the Azzurri playing so well, like with meaning, and like they're playing so good that it makes us forget what came before. Well, may not forget, but wish we had all this sooner, you know. So with that done, that means Serie A came back this weekend, and there's definitely a lot of goals, a lot of drama for sure. And just a lot of excitement for some fans and disappointment for many, myself included. So we're going to get right into that and look what happened in Serie A for round 8 this weekend. Opening up the weekend was an exciting game for sure, and I'm sad I really missed this. Lazio-Atalanta finished 3-3, but Atalanta were up 3-0 at half, and it does remind me of a certain finals games many years ago, but I don't want to go back to that. Anyways, Atalanta up 3-0 at half. Lazio came back to tie it up, secure a point at the Olimpico, and they did that by getting 2 penalties as well. And this was definitely an exciting game, but Atalanta should have done better. Even after Lazio scored their first goal, they should have tightened up their defense, been smart as well, and try not to get them back in the game. But Lazio pulled through. Inzaghi did well to get his side together, and they managed to get something out of the game. 12 p.m. that same day, Napoli-Verona. Napoli taking the 2-0 victory thanks to goal from Milik, who comes back to scoring, and that will definitely boost up his confidence for sure ahead of their Champions League game, and especially going forward in Serie A. And they want to keep up their momentum going forward, and he knows once he gets going, he needs all the confidence he can get to score as many goals if he wants to help his side finish top of the table. Now, the last game we have today, that Saturday was Juve-Bologna, and this game finished 2-1, and definitely some drama, some excitement, and a completely wow moment at the end. Juve take the lead. Some dubious thing because of Pjanic, who supposedly pushed a Bologna player into a teammate of his, and that got Juve back the ball where they did score off that. So maybe the ref could have called a foul there. Bologna tied, and then Juve scored to take the lead again. And then just in the last few moments, Bologna hit the bar. And then as they're trying to score again, Buffon makes a miraculous save that is very reminiscent of his save on Zinedine Zidane in that 2006 World Cup Finals against France to keep Juve in front and give them all 3 points. Now, there was also, again, a bit of controversy. At the end of the game, should have Bologna have given the penalty? Ball gets crossed in. De Ligt, not sure what he's trying to do. Looks like he's trying to slide and clear it, but it goes underneath him and touches his arm. His arm was maybe like this, but it touched here, completely changing the direction of the ball. Now, if it hits the hand, it completely changes the direction of where it's supposed to go, especially someone may have gone onto the ball and scored. Who knows? Maybe that could have been called a penalty, and especially with the new rule changes, I have a feeling maybe it should have, but I don't know. They could have looked at VAR, but nothing. Moving on to Sunday at 6:30, such an exciting game here. We had Sassuolo-Inter. This was a huge win for Inter, especially picking it up after their defeat to Juve, but also saying that it helps them get closer and keep tabs after Juve beat Bologna the previous match day. Inter were up 4-1, Sassuolo scoring 2 goals right after that, making it 4-3. So it was a very close game for sure, and you guys have probably seen it already. Right before Lukaku was taking his penalty, someone decided to parachute into the stadium. So that's an interesting way if you really want to get onto the field. Maybe it's just saw a patch of grass decide to land in there, but I haven't seen anything like that before. It's definitely some entertainment there. But now, especially for De Zerbi's side, they've conceded plenty of goals in only 8 games. That's not how you need to get points and get yourself important games. Like, if you keep conceding many goals, how do you expect to win? How do you expect to get anything from that game? You can't. You can't always keep conceding goals. So there is something that De Zerbi has to do for Sassuolo side to tighten them up and make sure they don't concede 4 goals a game. Like, that's horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. Now, on to the 9 a.m. games. 3 games, of course, like usual. Udinese, Torino. Udinese picking up a crucial victory over Torino, and that really helps leapfrog them up the standings. Torino struggling of late. That's their 3rd defeat in 5 games, so a bit to worry for Mazzarri's side, but he definitely has some changes too. But Udinese, this is big, as they struggled last season. They've been struggling in this season, so this is big for them to climb up and try to finish in that mid-table position and avoid relegation this year. We had Sampdoria Roma. This is Ranieri's first game in charge of the Doriani, and this is a big point for them for sure. Even if they didn't, even if they couldn't beat Roma, getting a point to Roma was important. Ranieri getting it on his birthday against his boyhood club, this was crucial for them. Sam looked much more organized and compact. Roma struggled, and of course they did pick up 2 more injuries in Cristante and Kalinic, so their injury pile just keeps getting bigger and bigger, and I don't know what's going on in their medical staff. What are they doing? What are the trainers doing that overworking them so much? They're not gonna have a team. What are they gonna do? Play their Primavera side? No, but I don't know what's going on. And then Kluivert gets a red card. Probably most likely out of frustration. That does reduce Roma to 10 men, and they do lose another key player going into next week's game, which we'll get into after this recap here. Last 9 a.m. game was Cagliari-Spal. Cagliari picking up all 3 points here. Raja Nainggolan scoring another screamer. If you haven't seen it, just check it out. It's unbelievable. And the guy just always scores worldies. It's wow. And this really leapfrogs them up the table, and no one would have really thought this, but wow, they're up there. Maybe it won't last, but they are up there for sure. 12 p.m. game, we had Parma-Genoa. Parma completely destroying Genoa. It was 3-0 at halftime. As soon as the second half started, Parma get a 4th through Cornelius, who gets his hat-trick. Genoa pull one back with Pinamonti. Then later on, bad mistake at the back from Genoa leads to a 5th. They absolutely hammered the Genovese side. And this is big for Parma. More woes for Genoa, who just now are releasing Andrea Soli of his duties, and they are going to be picking up Thiago Motta, who is going to have his first team experience after just recently coaching with, I believe, the U19 PSG side. So his first senior experience, pretty much. I don't know what to expect, to be honest, but if he can change their issues, then sure. But especially with a manager that hasn't had any first team experience and such a top flight like Serie A, I really can't say. But kudos to Parma. And not trying to say anything away from Parma, but Genoa getting smacked by a team like Parma. There are just many issues here, tremendous. There are lots of things that have to be worked on. So again, let's see what Thiago Motta can do with this team, and big kudos to Parma for getting all 3 points here. Last Sunday game was Milan-Lecce. This was Stefano Pioli's first game in charge of the Rossoneri on his birthday as well. Çalhanoğlu scores. He looked much better this game. Milan had several chances to put this game away, but they just couldn't capitalize. Çalhanoğlu scores. Then Babacar equalizes with his first goal for Lecce through a penalty after big error from Conti, who let it hit his arm on the cross going into the box. Piontek scores a crucial goal after an assist from Çalhanoğlu, who had a tremendous game. But then Milan, in the end, couldn't clear the ball. Calderoni strikes it from distance, and a wonderful goal from the midfielder, who secures a crucial away point for Lecce at the San Siro, and not the game Pioli wanted to start off his Milan tenure. And there are still lots of work to be done for them. And one setback, they did look a lot better under the new coach, but there's still many issues that they have to deal with, and especially with a big game coming up next week, again, which we're going to get into. They really need to figure their shit out in order for them to move up the standings and just look like a top team once again. Now, to cap it off, Matchday 8, we had the game on Monday, which got delayed by 15 minutes because of bad weather, but it did get played. Brescia-Fiorentina finished in a 0-0 draw here. Plenty of chances. The Seneb actually picking up a huge injury. Did look serious, so I'm hoping it's not long-term. Wishing him a healthy recovery, speedy recovery, so he can see the pitch once again. So those were all the results for Matchday 8 of Serie A. What did you guys think? Like, there are definitely a few surprises here. A lot of frustrating results, and again, some controversy from what I said earlier. So what do you guys think about this past match day? What did you guys enjoy? Disliked? Just general thoughts? Give us a comment below, let us know. So going into the actually before I do stand-ins, I want to say there's definitely some nice goals this weekend. So my top two candidates, well, more one than the other, but still want to put up for consideration was Calderoni's strike for Lecce against Milan to tie it up in the 92nd minute. Great left-footed strike to the far post. Definitely worth a nomination, I guess. And then, of course, Raja Nainggolan's screamer from, I want to say, 30 yards. Just wicked strike in the top corner. Definitely want to check out if you guys haven't. Just wow. So those are my two top goals for the weekend. Let me know if you agree and what did you think of those goals as well. Now, moving on to the standings after match day 8. Genoa and Sam occupying the bottom two spots. Sam sitting dead last right now with 4 points. Still not much separating the bottom three sides. Third team being Spal, who also need to pick it up as well. Ranieri and we'll say Thiago Motta coming in now. We'll see how much they can change these teams to bring them out. It's weird seeing both of these teams in the bottom three. Is it about time Genoa go back down? It wasn't that long ago. Sampdoria also went down, but I doubt it. They're not teams that are Serie B material, I guess, but there definitely needs to be a lot of change as well. Spal need to pick up their form too if they want to get out of the bottom three. Sassuolo tied with Spal in points, but sitting outside there. De Zerbi again needs to pull things together, tighten up his defense to stop from conceding goals. Lecce and Brescia also point out as well. Lecce picked up a huge point against Milan in order to push themselves up. Brescia picking up the point against Fiorentina, that's for sure. And speaking of Milan, they're only sitting outside the top 10 with only 10 points. They do need to do better if they want to get that top 4. It's still attainable for sure. The last time they had 10 points in 8 games, they finished 3rd that season. So there is still plenty of work to be done, but they do need to pick it up with Pioli this season. Udinese pushes just ahead on goal differential past them. Torino and Fiorentina occupying the opening 2 spots in the top 10. Roma sitting in 6th ahead of their city rivals Lazio. Surprise here of Cagliari being 5th. They've had such a great start. They're sitting there with 14 points. Again, I'm not sure how long that'll last, but they have a good, solid team, and I can definitely see them being successful. Excuse me in my words today. They can keep going forward. Top 4, we have Napoli 4th, Atalanta 3rd, Inter 2nd, and Juve 1st. Juve still being the only undefeated team so far. Inter only sitting a point behind them, but it's still very close. Only 6 points separating the top 4, so anything can still happen. It's still very early in the season. Definitely some teams we don't expect to see where they are. even Milan. I want them to come back up now. Anyways, what do you guys think of the standings? Do you think some of these teams can hold up and stay in those positions for by the time the season ends, or are we going to see a drastic change in the standings? Let us know. Comment below. So with the standings now done, we're moving on to the preview for Matchday 9. Just going into talk about what games are happening next weekend. This time we have the game on the Friday, the 25th, 2:45, Verona Sassuolo. Two teams close to the bottom who both need victories. Let's see who can edge out their opponent and grab all 3 points, or the team's going to share the points here. Tough to say, but again, keep an eye out. Going on to Saturday, 9 a.m., Lecce, Juventus. Lecce want to take their confidence after drawing against Milan and take it to Juve. I doubt Juve will lose here at Lecce, but let's see. Anything can happen, but I do feel Juve will have too much power and strength for this Lecce side. Noon game, we have Inter Parma. After Inter's successful game against Sassuolo, they want to carry that against Parma, and Parma, who did thrash Genoa and want to maybe spoil Inter's day as well. Let's see if they can do that as well. Or again, will the Nerazzurri be too much for Parma to handle? We'll see. Last game on Saturday is Genoa Brescia. Again, another two teams that are close to the bottom who want to pick up points. Can Thiago Motta, once the official announcement comes out, can he get a debut victory? Tough to say. Maybe Brescia will be just a little too much for them. Maybe the Brescia will take away all 3 points and spoil the day for the new coach. Only time will tell. Now, moving on to Sunday, there is going to be a time change for those here in North America. So the morning game between Bologna and Samp will start at 7:30, so all the games are an hour later. Bologna want to bounce back from their defeat to Juve, while Samp wants to keep some momentum going after drawing Roma at home, so they hope they can get Ranieri his first win here. 10 a.m. games. Atalanta, Udinese, Spal, Napoli, and Torino, Cagliari. So Atalanta want to keep up their good form, beating Udinese, while Udinese want to just try keeping their winning ways going, Spal, Napoli want to take advantage of Spal's terrible form this season and get all 3 points to keep their momentum going forward to the top of the table, while Spal just want to get something to move out of the bottom 3. Torino, Cagliari, like I said, Mazzarri's side have 3 losses in their last 5 games, so he wants to change something in order for him to get a consistent form for his side as well, and just start bringing in some of the points. Cagliari want to keep their good times rolling, maybe even moving up to 4th, that would be such a surprise as well for their type of team. Again, no harsh feelings, no one would have expected it for sure, but they do have a solid team, and that would definitely be a great game to see. Now, instead of a midday, again, it's 1 o'clock now. We have Roma, Milan. Like I was saying earlier, Roma just lost Kalinic. They just lost Cristante, and now they have Kluivert gone on suspension. Dzeko is just coming back from full fitness, so they are missing a lot of players. Can they handle it against a bigger team such as Milan? But Milan are also not in the greatest form as well, so they would be hoping that some of the reserve players can take advantage. But Milan will look to bounce back. They did look a lot better, but there's still, again, lots of work to be done. And maybe this will prove the right challenge against a team like Roma, who are missing half their starters. Almost a whole team not there. They want to take advantage of their misery. So this will be a very tight affair. I can't say who's going to win because both teams are either, one team has half their starters missing, the other has just been in a poor rut. So it's time to see who will take advantage of the other's misery here. Now, last game capping off Matchday 9 is Fiorentina-Lazio. Fiorentina want to get a win here at the Franchi, while Lazio, again, also want to bounce back after almost a humiliating defeat at home. Both teams will want to get all 3 points here. This will definitely be a great game to see as well. I'm not sure, again, with who will take it, because they're still, I just can't say. Both teams are playing decent, but at the same time, they could be playing better with some of the players they have. So anyways, that's the preview for Matchday 9. We took care of our recap as well. What did you guys think of Italy's qualifiers as well? If you guys want to tell me anything about what you guys think about that. Again, what do you guys think of Matchday 8? What happened this weekend? There's, like I said, lots that happened. Let me know what you guys think. And what do you guys expect going forward into Matchday 9? Some of these crucial games, you know, Bologna, Sam, two bottom teams, not bottom sides, but, you know, teams who need to pick up the points. Atalanta, Udinese as well. You know, Torino, Cagliari, both teams on opposite ends there. And then the big game of the weekend being Roma, Milan. So again, let me know what you guys think. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, Calcio_bros. Don't forget to click the bell on our channel to receive notifications on our latest video, and subscribe for more Calcio content. We will hear from you guys soon. Ciao.